Well, Mr. Osborn, why did you set those lineups that we're going to have in this winner versus winners game that starts us off today here on sportsnetusa.net?
Well, to begin things, it'll be Cypress. Even though they host the tournament, they're actually going to be the road team this afternoon. So they'll be batting first. They'll start off with Melanie Okazaki and Sydney McCullum, and then Jenny Vasquez to round out the top three. Alexis Zavala will follow them, and Nicole Wise, who went 2 for 3 yesterday afternoon, will be in the 5 spot. Emma Walker, starting in right field, will be followed by Destiny Vasquez, who hit a 2-run shot, and Val Romano, who also had a bases-clearing RBI triple. She ended up driving in 2 as well. Lineup will be rounded out by Kiani Puailoa. For Palomar, defensively, they'll start with Crystal Delorier in the circle. Behind the plate, it'll be Bailey Romano, and over at first is Mariah Lopez. Bree Dunkel is at second. Multiple defensive plays from Dunkel yesterday afternoon. And at third is Dion Macias. Lexi Williams rounds out the infield for Palomar. In left field, it'll be Taylor Fa'asua. In center is Taylor Willis. And in right is Tiar Pau Pau. So as we get set, Coach Brad Pickler walking across to his third base coach position, and we're going to get underway between Palomar and Cypress. Here's Melanie Okazaki, left-handed batter, coming up to the plate. For Okazaki, a 400 on-base percentage, over 400. And we're getting set as the first pitch is delivered outside corner, strike. No balls and 1 strike.
Well, I've got her batting .463 currently with an on-base percentage of .571. That's from early this morning, before you were awake.
That's outside, 1-1.
You got something different than me?
If I dig it out. Or it's now no balls and 2 strikes.
I know it's early in the morning. Ryan's having birthday hangover today from donuts.
Yeah, those donuts are still getting to me. Now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Melanie Okazaki, batting .474, .578. So here's Delorier in the circle, right-handed pitcher, and she'll deliver to Okazaki, who fouls it off. Count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Once again, Okazaki, McCullum, and Vasquez. First 3 to come up to the plate for Cypress College. Down the line at third is Dion Macias. And she's just a step behind the third base bag. Here's Mariah Lopez creeping in from first, and Okazaki watches the breaking ball stay away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
When you watch Macias yesterday, somebody really good at third base. Excellent hands over there. I mean, she's got a quickness and beautiful footwork playing defense for Palomar at the third base bag.
The 2-2. That is up and high. So Okazaki goes down quickly, 0-2 in the count. And now she battles it back, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Something she showed all season long, as she ended up grabbing 34 walks overall on the season. She hits this one into the air, shallow center, and making the catch is Taylor Willis.
Ryan, a little different conditions in this game. Wind's not blowing as hard. It's 207 down the left field line, 209 down the right field line, 220 to dead center. A little less wind than we had yesterday, a little more cloud cover. So we'll see if that affects the flight of the ball during this game today.
Here's Sydney McCullum, right-handed batter, right in the middle of the batter's box, and takes high. 1 ball and no strikes.
2 for 3 yesterday. Of course, in some people's opinion, state player of the year.
This one snagged out of the air by Bailey Romano behind the plate. 2 balls and no strikes.
And this shows you the strength of Pickler's lineup when you've got probably your best player hitting number 2.
Up and away. 3 balls, no strikes to Sydney McCullum with Jenny Vasquez in the on-deck circle.
I mean, that's the thing that's interesting, Ryan. You look at this. She's the number 2 hitter, and you look at her numbers are outstanding.
That's too low, and she works a 4-pitch walk and will be standing on first. For McCullum, that will be her 12th walk of the season if you combine both regular season and postseason totals.
She's got 25 stolen bases for the season. It's only been caught 3 times. So, again, you've got somebody, we'll see if Brad Pickler starts things in motion early today.
This is Jenny Vasquez, who will take the first pitch for an inside strike. 0-1 in right field, Tiar Pao shaded towards the line. And Faasua and Willis slightly deep, but sitting straight away. That spins just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Pao yesterday was not wearing a visor in right field. She is today. I sort of thought maybe that was a choice of reference that I don't like a hat on when I'm playing softball.
This one's bunted down the first base line. It is Delorier with the underhanded toss over to first, and making the catch is Mariah Lopez. Vasquez is out. That's the second of the top of the first inning. And up next is Alexis Zavala. So Sydney McCullum now up to second base. And Cypress already with their first runner in scoring position. Yesterday afternoon, they struggled all the way until the 3rd inning. Make it the 4th. That's when they put up their first 2 runs of the afternoon. They went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first yesterday.
And we saw that Brad had McCullum on the move there. Again, when you drop that bunt every once in a while, when you've got that runner on the move, if somebody bobbles it, you don't even stop at second. You turn and head for third base. In that case, you had somebody that fielded it well, but you still have that person now in scoring position. More traditional softball is what you saw from Brad Pickler there.
So Zavala, the left-handed batter, will dig in. And yesterday afternoon, she ends up going 1 for 3 with a strikeout and a triple. Takes the first one for a strike 0-1. 8-time state champion, Cypress College, going up against Palomar, who has been the 5-time state champion. This one's into center field, and Taylor Willis will make the catch. 2 flyouts to center. And a fielder's choice. That brings us our 3rd out. No runs and no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. 0-0 between Cypress and Palomar. As we go to the bottom of the 1st, this is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
As Ryan Osborn gets ready to give you the lineups, this lineup is brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Looking for that new or used Toyota? There's no better place to go in Southern California, and especially Orange County. Miller Toyota, located at Euclid in the 91, is a proud sponsor of high school sports, community college sports, but most of all, education. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim.
Palomar will start off with Bree Dunkel and Bailey Romano. Then it's Mariah Lopez for the first 3. Batting cleanup is Madison Turman and Tiar Pao, who leads the team with 12 home runs and 50 RBIs. Will be in the 5 spot. Pitcher Crystal Delorier is 6th. Then Taylor Faasua is after her. Taylor Willis and Dion Macias round out the batting order for Palomar. In the field for Cypress, they start off with Destiny Vasquez in the circle. Val Romano behind the plate. Kiani Puailoa over at first, and Jenny Vasquez is at second. Alexis Zavala at third, and Sydney McCullum is at short. Left to right, the outfielders for Cypress are Nicole Wise, Melanie Okazaki, and Emma Walker.
Number 3, Bree Dunkel.
So Dunkel, Romano, and Lopez all up for Palomar. For Dunkel yesterday afternoon, she ended up flying out in her first at-bat and then went 2 straight. Getting on base, she had a single and a double after flying out in the 6th. Here's a strike to Dunkel to start her off. It's no balls and 1 strike.
Throwing her a couple extra walks that she had too yesterday, Ryan. I mean, somebody who got up 5 times yesterday. So when you look at her, she was on base 4 out of the 5 times for Palomar as a leadoff hitter.
Batting .486 as she takes another strike. No balls and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Here's Zavala creeping in from third. That's taken outside 1 and 2. Over at first is Puailoa. Even with the bag, just away. 2 and 2. Left-handed batting Dunkel takes a look. Same location. And it's now a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And, you know, you look at Dunkel, she doesn't look like your typical slap hitter, but you watch her at the plate now she's taking that slap hitter motion.
Fouls it off. Stays at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Mark, you look at Cypress College. We talked about it yesterday before they put up the runs. Sneaky type offense, puts up 1 to 2 every inning. And all of a sudden, you'll see they've put 5, 6, 7 runs on you. And that's exactly what they did yesterday. They were quiet through the first 3 as this one is shot over towards short, and McCullum throws over to first in time. It's the first out of the bottom of the first, and Bailey Romano will come up next.
Well, what's interesting about them, too, is their defense doesn't get talked enough about. I mean, they've got a solid infield all the way from corner to corner. Good arms in the outfield. That's the other thing you want to look at with this team. So not only is it offense, but it's defense that wins it for them.
Going after the first pitch is Romano, and McCullum able to get there in time as she had to call off Jenny Vasquez. Pop out makes 2, and Mariah Lopez will step up to the plate. Lopez yesterday went 1 for 2 with a single and a walk, but was thrown out at home by Amber Elliott.
Look at Lopez. She's batting .432, a slugging percentage of .712 when she comes to the plate.
Zavala starting off even with the bag at third. Creeping in for Lopez, hugging the line, and taking a strike is Lopez. 1 ball and 1 strike, outfield straightaway. With Wise, Okazaki, and Walker left to right. And Lopez finds that one clipping the outside corner, 1 and 2. So very early in this first inning, Destiny Vasquez is going with the outside corner. This one bounces in, 2 and 2.
Well, you can see also in her pitches today so far, she hasn't worked high, low. She's worked inside, outside. She's trying to keep the ball down and away from a team that is a good slugging softball team. So she doesn't want to put anything in the power lane.
Shot into left field. Vasquez goes with the outside corner, and Mariah Lopez is able to go with it. First single of the afternoon for Palomar, and they have a runner on.
Excellent piece of hitting, Ryan, because you talked about how Destiny Vasquez is working the outside. When you try to pull that pitch, you know it's a weak ground ball to an infielder. If you go that same direction, which she does, if you can get it past third and short, you've got a solid single. Beautiful piece of hitting here in the first inning.
This is Madison Turman, who's the designated player. Takes just up high. 1 ball and no strikes. Mariah Lopez leading off from first, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. No score between Palomar and Cypress.
Turman hitting .495 coming into today's game. She's got 29 RBIs this season. She's only walked once, and she's only struck out 4 times. So that's somebody that's going to hit the ball that's at the plate right now.
Turman takes a look at 2 and 1. And you look at Turman's stance in the box. We talked about it during the Michelle Crew Classic. A player very coiled, sitting in the back of the box waiting for the maximum read on the ball. And she'll send this one, a dribbler into left field that gets past Sydney McCullum. 2 straight singles for Palomar, and they have a runner on first and second with Turman and Lopez.
Well, we talked about this entire tournament. We know Cypress can hit. We know Santiago Canyon can hit. We know College of the Canyons can hit. And Palomar. All of them are strong hitting teams. Now, it was interesting. When you and I were helping Ed Ford set up everything, you walked by the bullpen more than once and you said, Brad Pickler's got 2 of his pitchers warming up early. You almost had the feeling that Brad's going to see how far she can go, and if she gets in a little trouble, you think Destiny Vasquez may be pulled early in this game was your suggestion when we were talking.
Yeah, because going by there yesterday afternoon, it was only Vasquez who was warming up in the bullpen, as opposed to this afternoon, you had both Ledesma and Vasquez warming up. Ledesma not going as hard as Vasquez because Vasquez was going to start, but it will be interesting to see if Palomar does take a lead or one of these teams takes a lead, how quickly the starting pitcher is yanked, how much of a leash there is.
I think he sticks with her for as long as he can. You get a complete game out of her. Then whoever you play in the championship game, then you can pull some. You put in Ledesma, and then they've never, they're not used to her. Then you can bring Vasquez back in, and you can go with Hoffman too. So you could use all 3 pitchers in that Sunday noon game. So I think the thing is to see if Destiny can do it here and pitch a complete game and a win.
Vasquez with the first pitch of the at-bat to Tiara Pau Pau. Arguably the best hitter in the lineup for Palomar with her 12 home runs, 50 RBIs, or 40 RBIs. Hits this one into center field. Mariah Lopez is going to round third. She's going to get all the way home. The throw will be cut off, and Palomar takes a quick lead as Lopez is able to score all the way from second. Turman goes up to second. And Tiara Pau Pau gets an RBI single.
Now batting sixth, pitcher number 38.
So 3 consecutive singles, and Ryan, whatever was working at the beginning of this inning, they're talking to each other on the Palomar bench.
Check swing going all the way around is Crystal Delorier, 0-1.
Delorier hitting .328 so far this season.
And a swinging pop-up to Destiny Vasquez, who calls for it herself. Cypress ends up giving up a run on 3 hits with no errors and 2 runners left on base. Palomar leading 1-0 over Cypress. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
So I got it so screwed up yesterday, but here I am in today. So it's not who's on first, what's on second, I don't know, third base. The winners play in this game. Then our next game are the 2 teams that lost yesterday. They will face each other. It's double elimination. So in our second game today, somebody goes home. The loser of this game will play the winner of our next game in our last game of the day to see who plays the team who's undefeated today tomorrow for this Super Regional Championship and the right to go to the Community College World Series. That was a little less confusing than yesterday, wasn't it? Take the 47 to the 93, get on the 15, that takes you to the I-5. Sort of like a bus schedule.
Nicole Wise, followed by Emma Walker and Destiny Vasquez to the plate for Cypress in the top of the second inning. Palomar in their home whites, outlined in red pants, and white socks. And for Cypress, they're in their road navy blues, outlined in white and white socks. Wise steps in and watches this one at the ankles. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 run on 3 hits for Palomar in the bottom of the first inning. And they hold that 1-0 lead. Wind going from right field towards left, just outside.
Nicole Wise, one of the other Charger players that had multiple hits yesterday. She went 2 for 3.
Next delivery, and it will stay high. 3 balls and no strikes to Wise, with Emma Walker awaiting. Here's Delorier with Macias creeping in from third, and a strike is in there. 3-1. Cole Wise yesterday afternoon went 2 for 3, like you said, Mark, but both times got stranded. Takes the fourth one. Fourth ball goes up to first. Once again, another runner on for Cypress.
Now batting sixth, right fielder number 19, Emma Walker.
So now with Emma Walker coming up to the plate. Yesterday, she went 1 for 2 with a single and a run. She came across on that home run by Destiny Vasquez. This one is ball 1.
You know, and as good as everybody is for Cypress, nobody is close to the season record for batting average, which was .552 here at Cypress College.
Showing bunt and bringing it back is Walker. Goes for a strike, 1-1. .552.
.552 for one season. That was Carrie Hagan. In the 2003 season for Cypress, hit .552 for this Cypress team.
Bounces low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Closest so far this season is the .474 from Melanie Okazaki for Cypress. The 2-1 just inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Nice job by Walker to watch it all the way. Runner on first is Nicole Wise. And the 3-1. There's a strike.
Cole Wise has 14 stolen bases. Only caught stealing once this season, so we'll see if she goes on a 3-2.
Laurier to home. That one is swung on and missed. They're going to throw down to second and get her in time. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play turned by Palomar. As you see the replay here, foul tipped into the glove. Throw down to second by Bailey Romano is tagged and in time. That's Brianna Dunkel who is able to snag that one and apply the tag at the exact same time that Nicole Wise was sliding in there.
Well, and you really look at Bailey Romano comes up gunning on that one.
This one is ball 1 to Destiny Vasquez, who had a home run yesterday afternoon, driving in 2. One and one.
And for those that are watching this game at home, no, Destiny Vasquez is not one of those college students with a bizarre tattoo on her forearm. That's the tape that'll relieve the pain that's in your elbow and arm that's on there.
Half swings at this one, and it just catches the handle of the bat for 1 ball and 2 strikes as it's fouled away.
If it was NCAA basketball, then we might be discussing, tattoos.
Just sports tape this afternoon, Mark, as this one is up and away. 2 balls
Did you
and
say
2 strikes.
Discussing tattoos or disgusting tattoos?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
It'll be in the same breath.
Just clarify. Thank you.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Vasquez at the plate. And now works a full count.
Glad Title IX's not here because he'd be condemning me for seeing student athletes and tattoos in the same breath. So,
full count to Vasquez, 3-2. Watching it low, another walk is issued to Cypress. Vasquez goes up to first. She went down in that count, 1-2. Already we're seeing the Chargers go up to the plate very disciplined.
yeah, they really are. Now here's one of the heroes from yesterday coming to the plate. When it looked like Cypress was in trouble yesterday, Ryan, this is the young woman that really brought him out of the doldrums. Hitting a big triple yesterday to knock in a couple RBIs.
That triple went all the way out in between the 97-98 state championship banners in center field. As she watches the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. It ends up hitting a support pole for the fence in between those two banners and caroms into center field. That's what allows her to get all the way down to third. And Delorier delivers a slow one that stays too high. 1-1.
And you know, most catchers aren't known for their foot speed, but I tell you what, she was running the bases exactly the way, hitting the inside of that bag. When she came into third, there was no play on her.
Ball goes low. 2-1.
Just so you know, Ryan, running is moving your legs a little faster than just walking quickly. I just want to explain that to you here.
I can do that as long as you put food at the end. Swinging right through it is Val Romano, 2-2.
And I'll get out of the way at the end of the tournament when they have excess food here.
It's more like if you put a cheesecake at the end of the race, I'll win the New York Marathon.
There we go. There's the dare.
Romano swinging and popping this one a mile into the air. Bree Dunkel calls for it and makes the catch. Pop out to second base will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one runner left on base in Destiny Vasquez. Palomar 1-0 over Cypress. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Of course, we'll keep you informed of what's going around the rest of the state. We'll check in to the CCCAA and see what they've got going on. Games that are currently going on with them in Northern California and Southern California. Of course, we know one of the Northern California teams that won yesterday. San Mateo. Don't want to keep bringing that up, but, you know.
Now, we were talking about San Mateo yesterday, and I mentioned some of their facilities. So just so people get an idea of what we were talking about, this isn't the softball field. The softball field is very, very nice, too. But this is a picture of the baseball field, and it's courtesy, of course, of College of San Mateo's website. But you can take a look at this. As you can see, you see right field. You got a beautiful, just a beautiful shot of the bay. So
we love Cypress, but if San Mateo wants to put us up and have us call some games, Ed and I are packing the car. We're going.
Do they have cheesecake up there too?
Does it matter?
No, not really.
I believe, is it, must be Washington. Their softball field, I think you can look out and see the bay or the sound or something like that.
Wow. I mean, that's just a terrific picture that's up there. You know, if you were an athlete, we talk about facilities all the time. Ed, you bring up the SEC on Division I and said the money they poured into softball. Why do people play there? Their facilities are outrageous. You got facilities like that. Tell you what, I've still got a couple more years of eligibility left in something. You want to offer me a scholarship, I'll be there. I can generics. That's what I'll teach. Generics, yeah. Yeah, I'm an expert in that. I've got a master's degree in generics. PhD.
I thought your PhD came from Never Made a Stranger University.
That's true, too. Well, you saw that today.
This one's popped foul. Romano makes the call, makes the catch. Taylor Fa'asua goes down, pop up into foul territory. One pitch, one out. Taylor Willis up next.
Now batting 8, center fielder number 4, Taylor Willis.
Palomar putting up that run in the first. Once again, Cypress, if they want to win, they have to come back in this one. As first pitch to Willis is out. 1 ball, no strikes. And for Willis yesterday afternoon, she flew out, got hit by a pitch, and came in to score a run, and flew out once again. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dion Macias and Bree Dunkel will be coming up to the plate for Palomar. Half swing goes foul, 1-2. Nice early crowd on hand. As you see, we are on the campus of Cypress College for this Southern California Super Regional here on SportsNetUSA.net. Infield starts to creep in as Taylor Willis takes a ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. One out, bottom of the 2nd inning. And she hits this one into center field. Going back on it is Okazaki, and she is able to make the catch. So we saw it yesterday afternoon, Mark, where flyouts to center field were galore. Both games, around 50% of the outs were to center field.
Yeah, it was sort of amazing yesterday, the amount of fly balls that were outs, too. I think the one game you had almost like 80% were fly balls, the outfield, and out of that 80, almost 90% of those were to center field.
That one's a ball to Dion Macias. 1-0. Vasquez is in the circle. She'll deliver. It's now 2-1.
You know, we
2-0.
We talk about the 8 championships for Cypress, but let's not forget that Palomar has won 5 state championships in the game of softball.
High chopper to McCullum at short, and she'll throw to Puailoa to make the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. As we go to the top of the 3rd, it's Palomar 1, Cypress 0. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
You know, we were talking about it. When you look at Palomar, you've got 2 perennial state championship teams playing for each other. I mean, state championships in 1989, 1993, 2000, 2013, and 2015. They tell you the amount of state championship games they have played have been 11. And they've talked about it, Ryan, that they have made it to the state finals. Now, you and I were talking about this number because we think it's the 4 teams that are there that they just classify, not to the final game. But they've done that 19 times. So, again, we keep talking about what Brad Pickler has done. But, again, this has been a very prolific softball team down at Palomar, Ed.
Yeah, they're one of the big powerhouses, perennial powerhouses, along with Mount Sac, Cypress. Those teams have always been there. In the north, Sacramento City College is a normal participant in the state championship, along with San Mateo has been there a lot of times. Sierra won it 3 years ago, I believe. So we've got some really teams that have that lineage of winning and coaches that keep that going.
Delorier with a strike to Kiani Puailoa. 0-1 as we start off the top of the 3rd inning. Puailoa, Okazaki, and McCullum. Puailoa, little dribbler to Dunkel at 2nd, and she'll throw it away. Puailoa stays at 1st, so an error is charged to Brianna Dunkel. First error this afternoon, and a runner is on in Kiani Puailoa. Here's Melanie Okazaki up next. You talk about Palomar being a perennial powerhouse, guys. Palomar 16-0 in conference play. They went undefeated. Delorier to home. Okazaki shows bunt and brings it back 1-0.
So between these 2 teams, neither team knows what it's like to lose in conference this year. Which is pretty amazing when you think about it, and that's why they're matched up here in the winter bracket.
43-0 for Cypress as Okazaki brings back the bunt for a strike. 1-1. It's College of the Canyons. He's getting ready for their matchup against Santiago Canyon later on this afternoon here on SportsNetUSA.net. And Okazaki to short. Picking it up is Williams to second to first. Not in time, but they did erase Puailoa from second. And that's the first out, with Okazaki now standing over at first on the fielder's choice. Sydney McCullum is up next, and then Jenny Vasquez.
So Brad Pickler decides not to go their traditional route by dropping a bunt to get a runner on second base.
Here's McCullum. Shows bunt once again, doesn't offer, and it's 1-0.
Okazaki's got 31 stolen bases this season.
She gets set, getting a good look on the pitch. That one hits McCullum. She's going to go over to first. Free pass issued by Delorier. That's the fourth time that she has given up first base. 3 walks and a hit by pitch. Up to second goes Okazaki, and McCullum now at first with only 1 out. So first and second for Cypress. Jenny Vasquez up next. And for Vasquez, she's batting .374. Has 13 strikeouts on the year, which leads the team, but has 29 RBIs, or make it 38 RBIs. Takes a look at the first, 1-0.
Okay, I'm going to put you in the driver's seat. 53 stolen bases with the 2 runners on. Do you send them?
Double steal.
Okay.
There's an outside corner strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Not only does it create chaos on the base pass, but you're pretty much guaranteed at least 1 runner, and you only have the 1 out. So either a runner's going to be on second or third. Swinging through it is Jenny Vasquez, 1-2.
Ryan Osborn being a little more daring than Brad Pickler right now.
Coach Pickler down behind third on the edge of the outfield grass in foul territory. Delorier, now Vasquez will strike out. So the runners cannot advance in that at-bat for Vasquez, and Zavala will be up next.
Now batting number 15.
Zavala, in her first time up, she flew out to center field, as have many people in this tournament thus far. Okazaki at second, McCullum is at first after getting hit on the knee by a pitch. 1 ball, no strikes to Zavala.
Delorier's got 174 strikeouts, 116 walks. She averages almost 7 strikeouts a game when she's in the circle.
And she'll go into her wind. 1 ball, no strikes, and she hits another batter. Zavala will go up to first. Okazaki's now standing at third, and McCullum's at second. 2 hit by pitches in this third inning. And Delorier has given up 5 free passes. Now the bases are loaded for Cypress, and Nicole Wise to the plate.
Absolutely need a clutch hit in this situation.
Nicole Wise batting .440. Takes the first pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes.
And guys, I'm going to tell you, and Ryan, you know it because I talked about her in the season. I think this season really started turning around. She was one of the key components that started hitting well. Nicole Wise has always been an integral part of every team she's played for from her high school days on. And this is the position she's thrived in. We've seen her in the PGF. We've seen her in the Michelle Crew Classic. And she's one of those gamers that I think appreciates the fact that she gets up there with bases loaded and says, hey, coach, look what I can do.
Well, you always would rather have 1 out in this situation, but you have 2. The thing is, yeah, it's a long game. There's a lot of innings left. We saw yesterday that Cypress got down by a run and then came back, a couple runs here, a few more there. But in this situation, when you have the pitcher on the ropes, you have to, once again, make that statement, score at least 1 run, and that shows them that, hey, we can beat you.
And you mentioned it yesterday afternoon, Ed, in the Santiago Canyon game, where you said they needed a reply. They came up with a 3 spot to show that they were back in that one and almost came all the way back to tie it. First one is there for a strike after the ball. 1-1. Laurier to home. It's fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Nicole Wise. Bases are loaded. Zavala at first, McCullum at second, and Okazaki is standing at third. Right-handed batting Wise with a 1-2 count. Wind swirling around here at Cypress College. And it climbs the ladder, stays high, 2-2.
That's a look-at-me pitch. I'm going to throw you a fastball, which is a rising fastball. I'm going to get around your eyes. If you're anxious, you're going to swing at it. If you don't, though, you start thinking, here she comes with the fastball. Now you throw that breaking pitch down and away.
Here's Laurier. Tries to spin one in there. And it gets fouled back to the screen, 2-2.
On the outside part of the plate is where she comes with it. Now watch her come back. If it's somebody who's working up and down, in and out, you might throw that rise pitch, but if you throw that rise pitch here, come in on the hitter on this pitch.
Laurier into the line, 2-2. And once again, fouled straight back. So Nicole Wise staying up there at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-0 Palomar with the lead, and Cypress has bases loaded here in the top of the 3rd inning.
Down and away, rise pitch. Now, what do? I'm going to double up on my rise pitch right here if I'm her.
Laurier, the 2-2. That one's a fastball.
Boy, Ryan, she tried to sneak one by her on that one.
So that foul ball narrowly misses a moving car here at Cypress. Wise staying in there. Romano gives the sign to Laurier, and she'll bring it home. Here's Wise putting this one into short left center field. 1 runner is going to score. Here comes McCullum around third. She will score as well. Cypress takes the lead on the RBI single by Nicole Wise. Went 2 for 3 yesterday afternoon. Was stranded both times she got on, but today she ends up getting the 2 RBI single to put Cypress back on top.
Well, we were told one time about what a quality at bat is, Ryan, and when you look at the amount of pitches she fouled off, even if she doesn't get a hit, that would have been a quality at bat. She gets a bonus with a nice little base hit for a couple RBIs.
Emma Walker, 1-0. Struck out in her last at-bat. That was part of the double play that Palomar turned, striking out Walker and throwing out Nicole Wise over at second. 2 balls, no strikes. This is the first game of 3 this afternoon here on SportsNetUSA.net, 11-1-3. As Palomar and Cypress are trying to get to Sunday afternoon.
And when you think about this inning, it just feels like it's lingering longer and longer for Palomar.
Swing and a miss from Emma Walker, 2-2. Winner of this game advances to Sunday. Loser of this game plays at 3 o'clock. Santiago Canyon and College of the Canyons will be facing each other next. And this one goes foul, and a car is saved by the fence.
And always what you need to do if you're a catcher behind the plate is watch that runner at second base on what they're doing. They're not going to give you if it's a curveball or screwball, but they are going to give you catcher position behind the plate. You watch them on the bag. They're going to go in or out with their hand. And Ryan, we're getting that right now where we're getting location is being given to the person at the plate. All you have to do is watch that runner. It's going to give you a little taste of where it may be before the ball is thrown. See if she gives a signal this time.
Here's the 2-2 into left field. Shallow, but making the catch will be Taylor Fa'asua. She's able to make the play on the 7th batter who comes up to the plate for Cypress in the top of the 3rd inning. Cypress takes a 2-1 lead. 2 runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base. The score, it's 2-1. Cypress on top of Palomar. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
You know, you look around what's going on. Of course, we talk about everybody that plays these games and what's going on. Some of the super regionals that we'll look at today. College of San Mateo takes on Sierra in that super regional. Taft will take on Foothill, and then the Taft Foothill winner will take on the San Mateo Sierra loser in the San Joaquin Delta. Oh, that's those are regional. So that'll be the other super regional that we have going on there. And of course, when you look at the Mount Sac Super Regional,
we've got we can give everybody kind of a look at what is going on currently. So as you can see, we have the Cypress score there, and also today, as Mark was telling you, those are the other games. That El Camino Mount Sac game, Mark, that is going to be a great one. You have 2 just power teams ranked seated, at least in Southern California, seated 2 and 3, and state-wise they're also both in the top 10, and that's going to be quite a game. We're talking about, you know, the way the whole regional, super regional thing may evolve next year. That's another matchup that really shouldn't be happening until the state championship.
It's real interesting. Again, Ryan Osborn, I won't say the coach we listen to, but we listen to a coach talk about what's going to happen next year. Ryan, somebody said that it could be where they're going to have 5 games in one day, and that a lot of these teams aren't happy about the fact of having the 5 games in the one day, because you might have to play multiple games in one day even if you win at what they've got planned next year.
Well, they don't have the luxury of doing something like the NC2A, either Division I, Division II, or Division III, where it takes a whole week or more to complete the playoffs.
As Bree Dunkel, Bailey Romano, and Mariah Lopez will be the 3 for the Palomar Comets. Quickly 1-0 to Dunkel. At third, Alexis Zavala is down the line and watches this one foul 1-1.
You know, one thing we haven't done, Ryan, because if you watch Dunkel, she does it. We've yet to ask any of these young ladies, why do you keep your hands apart when you're up at the plate? Something you and I have to ask somebody one day when we watch this new way of holding a bat.
This one's bunted down towards Zavala. She'll pick it up, throw over to first, and Kiani Puailoa is able to handle the throw from Zavala.
Zavala makes a great break from third base. She was already inside the bag. She makes that excellent break. The thing that's nice, Ryan, is she keeps her body in front of the ball. Even if she bobbles it, she's going to kick the ball forward, so there would be no advancement by the runner if she can't make the play.
Strike 1 call to Bailey Romano. As you see the infield for Cypress College, over at first on the left of your screen is Kiani Puailoa. This one's sent into deep left field, but goes foul and one hops the fence. Jenny Vasquez is at second, Lexus Zavala is at third, and Sydney McCullum is at short. That's the corners and up the middle for Cypress College. Destiny Vasquez in the circle, and behind the plate is Val Romano. Popped up. McCollum will give way to Zavala, who makes the catch for the second out. Pop up to shortstop, brings 2, and Mariah Lopez is up next. She started the inning earlier today in the top of the first. Bottom of the first. I'm all mixed up here. Mariah Lopez got a single into left field, and she ended up scoring on the RBI single by T.R. Pow. No balls and 1 strike to Lopez. Little dribbler to second. Vasquez to Puailoa, and that will make it a 1-2-3 inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. The score is 2-1, Cypress on top of Palomar. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
We were talking about the change in the playoffs, the potential changes in the state championship where you would have 8 teams. But yes, there is a problem if you have to play that many games. But would you rather be playing that many games, or would you rather be sitting at home? I think everybody would rather be playing all those games. And also, a lot of people don't realize, but as we brought up yesterday, up till 2003, I believe it was an 8-team competition for the state championship. So you had 8 teams playing. So it's just going back to the way they used to do it. And it's more aligned to what the NC2A does, and also whether it be Division I, Division II, or Division III. And I believe the NAIA does it that way. As a matter of fact, the other organization that takes care of junior colleges throughout the country, the NJCAA, they have multiple teams in their playoffs. I think it's more than 8, actually. I think they might have a field of something like, it's at least 8. It might be 16 even, because they have a big site where they just play a whole bunch of games.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think you should allow more teams in that championship bracket to have an opportunity to win everything.
Destiny Vasquez is up.
You leave some good teams at home in the Super Regionals.
Goes low, 1-0.
I think the luxury that the NJCAA has, they play their state championship at a facility that has more than one field. So you can have 2 games going at the same time. It's a tournament.
Strike 1 to Vasquez. Vasquez followed by Romano and Puailoa. Last time Vasquez came up to the plate, she worked a walk after going down 1-2 in the count. Nearly takes strike 2. But the umpire doesn't give the outside corner, 2-1.
And there's very few community colleges that have 2 fields that they would play on. Ventura has 3, but they don't have all the other amenities, so they wouldn't get considered.
There's strike 2 called to Destiny Vasquez, 2-2.
Well, you know what? Again, you've got to start investing in athletics on the community college level from the state of California.
Vasquez, little pop-up, free Dunkel, makes the catch. Up next, Val Romano had the 2 RBIs yesterday afternoon. Popped up to second earlier today.
Because these are student athletes. I think this gets forgotten. These young women will use, Brad Pickler was telling us about girls that were already moving on, talking about GPAs the other day with Brad.
Strike to Val Romano, 0-1.
A couple of his players had GPAs well over 3 that he was very proud of.
Delorier, the 0-1. Val Romano going for the fences, comes up empty, 0-2.
And of course, I retweeted the other day for Fullerton College because they honored their student athletes the other day, and boy, they had a basket load of players with GPAs over 3.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
So I do say to the state of California, these community colleges are run by you. You should invest in these young people's learning, and these sports help them get to the next level. It should be on you to help build these programs.
Swing and a miss from Val Romano as she gets fooled on that one. And Kiani Puailoa will step to the batter's box. She's 0 for 1.
Ryan, it seemed like those 2 strikes, the last 2 strikes were the same pitch, same location, and she just couldn't find it. So good location, good pitching.
Puailoa watches for strike 1.
Well, even though she gave up 3 yesterday to Santiago, she pitched a heck of a game against Santiago yesterday to win that game for her team.
And Puailoa shows bunt, watches it high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And realize right now, Ryan, she's throwing a 1-hitter against Cypress College. If it wasn't for a walk, some hit batters, she'd be sitting right now with a 1-0 lead.
Puailoa just gets tip of the bat on it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And you look at Delorier yesterday afternoon, it was only 1 inning that got to her. The rest of the time, it was zeros up on the board. And Santiago Canyon had a lot of time stringing together offense.
Yeah.
Pitch goes straight back to the screen, 2-2.
You know, that's not helping our camera any.
You know, I just think she wanted a little more of a compliment from Ryan. She heard him. Said, come on, give me a little more love than that in yesterday's game.
Into the line goes Delorier, and she will strike out Puailoa. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Delorier. And 1-2-3 goes Cypress. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. Palomar comes up down 2-1 to Cypress. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
We've got 2 more games right after this one here on SportsNetUSA.net. Like I always like to remind everybody about all the games we do here on SportsNetUSA.net. Our games are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Looking for that newer used Toyota? Hey, maybe you've got a Toyota like me and you got that 200,000 miles, need to take it in, get it tuned up. That's right. Check out all the service specials on Miller Toyota of Anaheim service specials they've got on their website all the time. They have the 3-for-1 deal on tires. Hey, just take it in and look at the new cars that are out there right now. You're looking for that new Toyota? Well, if you're going to go anyplace, go down to Euclid in the 91 to Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim is a proud sponsor of high school sports, community college sports, but most of all, education. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim.
Madison Turman, TR Pow Pow, and Crystal Delorier for the Comets.
Now batting for Palomar.
As Destiny Vasquez stays in the circle for Cypress. Talked about her earlier. Coming into the tournament, Destiny Vasquez was 24-0. She's added to that one as she got the win yesterday afternoon. This one's popped up towards foul territory, and Puailoa is not able to outstretch and make the catch.
Yeah, we talked about Player of the Year, but they also have another category that they call Pitcher of the Year. I don't know, it's like the Cy Young Award in baseball. You know, hey, you're the greatest pitcher, but they're the greatest player. She got Pitcher of the Year here for softball. So nobody else matched her for her season.
Up and high. 1-1 as TR Pow Pow is in the on-deck circle. Down at third, Alexis Zavala hugging the line. Too much inside. The frame there by Romano doesn't draw the call.
And, of course, we're going to get some action in the bullpen. And when you look at the ERA for this entire team, an ERA of 1.17 in conference play, Ryan, that's pretty good.
Hit into center field. Melanie Okazaki takes a look and makes the catch. 1 out. The action in the bullpen for Cypress is Haley Hoffman. You want to talk about ERA, Mark. Haley Hoffman with a .28 ERA on the season.
Oh, she can deal. I tell you, we saw her pitch more than once, and Ryan and I both we know the other ones have great records, but boy, we love what she looks like in the circle when she's out there for Cypress.
Inside half. Called strike, 0-1 to TR Pow Pow. Pitching staff for Cypress, 14 complete games. And all of them have been wins, as this one's fouled off to the left, 0-2.
And people might wonder why there aren't more. I mean, in some of these games, you got to realize that they were so far in the lead, you would bring somebody else in just to let them get in the circle and pitch.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Pow Pow. And you talk about the depth. You start off with Vasquez in the circle. She has 9 complete games. And that low ERA, swing and a miss from Pow Pow, and she goes down. That's 2 strikes, and Crystal Delorier up next. But right behind her, you have Ledesma, who ends up going with 3 complete games. And she has the 1.84 ERA, 0.28 ERA from Haley Hoffman, and she has a complete game as a freshman.
Yeah, and you know, she's coming back next year. So, I mean, Brad Pickler's not going to be searching. Well, he is. He'll be searching for pitching, but he's already got somebody there.
Delorier fouls the first one off, 0-1.
Plus, Brad is the kind of guy that we saw him out there at the PGF, and I'm sure he's scouting high schools. He'll have some more arms coming in here next season.
In there for a called strike, no balls and 2 strikes.
Plus, you have the fact that you have a heritage of being a winner, 1,300 wins, state championships.
2 hops to McCullum to Puailoa. That will end the inning. 1-2-3 goes Palomar. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
I mean, you have a program here. A lot of players would want to come here and play for Brad Pickler. It's not where you're going into a situation where, what's the team going to be like? You know this is a winning program, and they'll have a winning season. They'll be in the playoffs. That's the kind of place you want to play. People want to play at a winning program. So I think, you know, he'll be turning people away, if anything. It's the same thing at Mount Sac. Sacramento City College, San Mateo, Sierra, those are the schools, Palomar, that have those reputations and always put not only a quality team on the field, a playoff quality qualifying team on the field year after year.
Well, I think the thing that's interesting about Brad, too, is you talk to him about his team. He doesn't talk about one particular player. He talks about his team. And you've been out here, Ed, where he has said to his young ladies, don't ask me about the lineup. If you're playing, you're playing. If you're not, you're not. And when we talked about Sydney McCullum in the interview that I did with him, did he think she should be State Player of the Year? Yes. Did he think she was snubbed or anything like that? No, he just said it's the way that it's set up, that they only get so many votes compared to other conferences, and that's why he thought she didn't win it. But he didn't go on and gush about her, and I think you like that with a coach that I'm not always hearing about Ryan Osborn. It's always about Ryan Osborn. Why do I want to come there? Even if I'm there, it's all about Ryan Osborn. Not that it isn't, but that's the thing, you know. And I think that's why they like playing for Brad Pickler.
Okazaki, McCullum, and Vasquez. Top of the order for Cypress College. And Okazaki takes 1-0.
Ryan, we're in the 5th inning. A one-hitter. You're throwing a one-hitter against Cypress, and you're losing the game.
Dion Macias down at third. Continues to creep in. Third the way down the line. Can't be handled behind the plate by Bailey Romano on the 2-0.
I bet you if I said to the alumni from Savannah High School that are friends with Brad Pickler, all his buddies, hey, Cypress is only going to have 1 hit, I wonder how many of those Savannah guys would say that Brad's team would have the lead right now.
Bailey Romano behind the plate. Crystal Delorier in the circle. And a low strike is delivered by Delorier to Okazaki. 2-1 with Mariah Lopez over at first, Bree Dunkel at second, and Dion Macias at third. Lexi Williams is at short, and Taylor Fa'asua in left. Taylor Willis and T.R. Pow Pow in center and right. Check swing, and she went around. So Okazaki has a 2-2 count. Has those 33 walks on the season. By far leads Cypress College.
Look how deep Pow Pow's playing in right field.
2 steps in front of the fence, and another hit by pitch for Crystal Delorier. That's the 3rd this afternoon.
Wow.
She will come in tight on batters when you watch her, and she'll have a ball that does not move. In other words, she looks like she's trying to throw a pitch that's going to break away from a left-handed hitter into a right-handed hitter. And every time she does that, she throws a rise pitch. She doesn't throw a breaking pitch.
Strike to McCullum. 0-1. Okazaki over at first. Has those 30 stolen bases. To home. Fouled back to the screen. Romano just not able to get there in time. Tries to go from behind home plate and make the catch. But McCullum will have another opportunity, 0-2.
And this is a great softball field, but a very short run between home and the fence. So, you know, it's got to be one that almost goes straight up for a catcher to have an opportunity.
The 0-2. Looks like it clips the corner of the plate. However, Mark, that's one of those instances where you see the catcher set up on one side of the plate. If the pitcher misses location bad enough, the umpire won't award the strike.
Yeah, you fool the umpire.
Hit deep to left. It's going to keep on carrying and just go foul. Trying to get there was Fa'asua.
Hooked it a little too much.
207 down the line there. The breeze is blowing again from right to left. The way we're set up here, that is an ocean breeze that we're getting here in Cypress.
1 home run, 45 RBIs for McCullum. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 207 down the left field line. 220 to straightaway center and the flagpole, and 209 in right. State champion flags blowing from right to left, and that's outside. But it's an outside corner strike 3 call, as McCullum is not able to hold up on it. Down she goes.
Yeah, and it really was a nice pitch. It's that rise pitch, once again, that you look at. So now, 5 strikeouts. She averages a little over 7 a game for Palomar.
Strike is there to Jenny Vasquez, who's up for the 3rd time today. Fielder's choice in the 1st and struck out swinging in the 3rd. Into the line goes Delorier, and this one's bunted right behind home plate, foul.
And Ryan, last time that strikeout was when the bases were loaded, correct?
It was indeed, as you had Puailoa on base in addition to McCullum and Okazaki.
So there she was trying to get something happen by laying down the bunt and getting the runner to second base and in scoring position. So we'll see if she can do it.
Down at 3rd, Macias is deep. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And you look at the defensive rotations, Mark, how each player plays their position differently. Macias charging in when there's less than 2 strikes. Now that there's 2 strikes, very deep at 3rd. Swinging and missing is Jenny Vasquez. That's the 6th strikeout for Delorier.
And it's interesting that you point that out, a third base person that makes up their mind no bunt is going to get dropped. They all look over again. We'll hear it from coaches all the time. They love to call pitches. I really can't see if Romano's glancing into the dugout on every pitch. Ryan, you've got a little better angle than I do.
Stolen base attempt down to 2nd. And in there in time is Melanie Okazaki. So she adds to her total. That is in the 30s with the stolen base. And Alexis Zavala takes the first one for a strike, 0-1.
Well, I think if you're Brad Pickler, you're watching a young lady you understand is pitching very well from the circle. So Brad's going to have to get that extra run just to feel a little more comfortable defensively.
Very deep in right is Pow Pow. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, aren't you a little surprised she's playing as deep as she is in right field? I mean, that's hitting the ball directly into the wind if you turn on it. That's blowing right now. A little surprising that she's as deep as she is in right field for Palomar.
And it looks like Romano does take a peek around every other pitch towards the dugout for Palomar. Coach Lacey Kraft in her 7th season at Palomar. Head coach of the Palomar Comets. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs. Alexis Zavala at the plate, takes high above the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Played softball at San Diego State.
2 runs on 1 hit for Cypress, 1 run on 3 hits, and 1 error for Palomar. Way outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Digging back in is Alexis Zavala. Flew out to center in the first and got hit by a pitch, stranded on second. Into left field goes foul. So now it's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on second in Melanie Okazaki. Zavala back in. Here's Delorier. Macias from third. And it's into left. It is not going to drop as Fa'asua comes in and makes the catch to end the inning. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. The score stays 2-1. Cypress on top of Palomar. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Of course, we'll see if we can get any more updates for you for some of the other games that are around the area. I don't know if Ed Ford's going to go over there, or I'll take a look, see if we can find out who's doing what. Maybe yours will hook up a little quicker than mine does, Ed. I'm using 4G. You're using hardline, so you may get your answers quicker than I do, as we see what the other super regionals
Last
are
I
doing.
checked, they didn't have anything going on the El Camino Mount Sac game. So I didn't see any sort of updates of any sort of scores at all, except the one that's here. And we know the score of that one. I mean, sometimes the scoreboard, my scoreboard, is a little off, but we do know what the score is.
Here we go with technology. Once again, technology 101. And I'm with Ed Ford. I have nothing on any of the other games, Ed. So none of the other games. We're the only one currently, it looks like we're currently playing right now. We are the only game going on in any of the super regionals.
Number 34, Taylor Fa'asua.
Taylor Fa'asua, followed by Willis and Macias. Vasquez to Fa'asua, who gets a hold of it but sends it foul. No balls and 1 strike. And Haley Hoffman goes back into the dugout, no longer warming up for Cypress, as Vasquez continues to cruise along in this one. 2-1, Cypress leads Palomar. This one goes right down the middle and fouled off behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes.
Did you run out there to protect the team bus?
What is this run thing?
Oh, I'm sorry. There's cheesecake out there.
I may scamper. As a swing and a miss from Fa'asua, and she goes down. Another strikeout for Vasquez, and she has 2 on the afternoon. This is Taylor Willis, center fielder. Willis, right-handed batter, getting the sign from Coach Kraft down at third. Vasquez to home. High fastball, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 2-1 Cypress. First game of a doubleheader here on SportsNetUSA.net. Actually make it a tripleheader, as games at 11, 1, and 3 here at the SoCal Super Regional. Stays up, 1 ball and 1 strike. I'm Ryan Osborn alongside Mark Pavlovich and Ed Ford. Into center field it will go, getting knocked down by the wind, and Okazaki is able to make the catch. 2 outs with Dion Macias coming up.
Dion Macias.
When you look at Macias batting .333 this year, .385 is her on-base percentage. Struck out 5 times. She's only walked 8 times up there. Not somebody really with any powers, only has 2 home runs for this Palomar team.
Strike.
And just when he says no power,
we go off the air.
No balls and 1 strike. Down low, 1-1. In right field, Emma Walker. Couple steps towards the right field line, as is Nicole Wise in left, and straight away is Okazaki. That one's a ball. Fast one in on the corner, now 2-1 to Macias.
Only 4 hits in this game combined between these two teams. A little surprised about that. Circle has been excellent for both teams.
That one's knocked down and chopped at by Dion Macias, and it's 2-2.
This could easily be a 1-0 game. Easily in Palomar's favor. You know, you hit somebody, give them that free ride, it's going to come back and bite you, and that's what it's done to Palomar in this game.
Infield shaded back as this one goes into center field. And Macias gets on with the single. 2 outs in the inning. Runner on for Palomar. Bree Dunkel is up next. When Palomar put their only run of the game on the board, it was with 2 outs in the first inning. Mariah Lopez came up after Dunkel and Romano both ended up getting out. So with 2 outs, Lopez hit one into left field. She'd end up scoring after Turman and Pow Pow both singled as well. Swing and a miss from Bree Dunkel, and it's 0-1. She's 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Grounded out to short and grounded out to third.
She struck out 8 times in 138 appearances before this game today.
Over to short. Here's McCullum. Throws across the diamond to first, and Puailoa makes the catch. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. 2-1 Cypress with the 1-run lead over Palomar at the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Of course, as we know, all these teams get players from high school teams around the area, and we have done the Michelle Carew Classic, the PGF high school games, and of course you look at CIF, the standings right now. Well, we've got players that have come from Norco that are out here. Norco's number 1 in Division I. Rob Wild, not far from here, Ed, at Los Alamitos High School. His team is number 2. Modern Day sitting at 3. Good friend of ours, the athletic director, Mr., or should I call him Dr. Jones, over there at Orange Lutheran. Orange Lutheran's at number 4. DJ Dr. Jones over there. Mission Viejo number 5, Lencia number 6, La Habra number 7, Huntington Beach at 8, Pacifica High School, Mark Campbell, yeah, they're close by too. Speaking of Nicole Wise, then Santiago Corona, and then Oaks Christian, Canyon, and Grand Terrace. That rounds out the top teams. Los Alamitos has been there towards the top all year long. Of course, we saw Norco in the Michelle Carew Classic and Orange Lutheran. Once again, CIF is going to have a heck of a playoff when you look at the high school teams in Division I region.
Nicole Wise, Emma Walker, Destiny Vasquez. The same three that came up in the second inning for Cypress to lead things off. Zavala right on the line at third. First strike to Nicole Wise, 0-1. Wise with a single earlier was also thrown out at second as she tried to steal after taking a walk. And Romano is able to snag that one as it almost gets by her. 1-1.
No sunscreen?
That was sunscreen.
Wow.
Now I look like
Rock Lobster.
yeah, Mark's shirt right here.
We do match, don't we?
Yes, we do.
You're wearing Sportsnet colors. That's nice.
One ball and two strikes to Nicole Wise. 1-2 with no outs. Throwaway pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Delorier trying to work the count as Romano takes a look at the dugout to get the sign. To home, there's the Rice pitch, and it gets Nicole Wise swinging. She goes down on the strikeout. Here's Emma Walker to the plate.
Now batting number 19.
Well, 3 out of your last 4 at-bats against you, you've got the strikeout working for you, and what you're doing is you're going inside, outside, breaking ball, and then Rice pitch on the outside, making people fish for it. You've got to be more patient if you're Cypress right now. Corey Nalen, Title IX, has shown up behind us.
1 ball and no strikes to Emma Walker. One ball and 1 strike.
I'm looking for my Czechoslovakian scout, his way in the back. He's got a radar gun up.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2-1. Cypress on top of Palomar. Outside, 2-1. Emma Walker at the plate with Destiny Vasquez.
And
After
Ed,
her.
oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. I was going to say, Ed, you've talked about it. Talk about being patient. Cypress, with 1 hit, needs to be much more patient at the plate.
Talk about patient. This one's laced into left field, just over the outstretched arm of Lexi Williams.
You're going to have to pick some stocks for me next week, okay?
I tell you what. Brad Pickler, no wonder Brad always says, how you doing? I'm disappointed. Brad didn't make breakfast this morning. So you Savannah alumni, you need to call your buddy Brad and say, look, Sunday morning, Mark would like a nice little cheese omelet with some smoky links.
They need to bring back the hot plate.
That's it. They do.
Swing and a miss from Destiny Vasquez, 0-1.
I'm real sure that some sign was missed there.
Yeah, everybody was off that because it looked like they were going to play run and hit on that. Vasquez just swings over the top. And again, I think Brad realizes I've got 2 hits in this game. I've got somebody in the circle that's pitching well. I'm 1 mistake away from having this game getting tied up. I need to have that insurance run. And they've had that opportunity to get those insurance runs, and they haven't been able to do it.
Mano behind the plate.
And boy, if you're Palomar, you're just saying to yourself, you know what, with this really display of pitching in the circle today, we've got to find a way to get that second run in this game.
Here's Delorier to home. Doesn't catch the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to Destiny Vasquez. Romano once again taking a look into the dugout, trying to find the sign. That's going to be another hit by pitch. That's 4 this afternoon for Delorier.
You know, Ryan, usually if you look back at box scores and see a stat like that, hit 4 batters, that's usually one of those disaster games where you get mercied. But it hasn't helped, but it hasn't hurt as much as it usually does.
Val Romano is up, and a runner will be coming in. Designated runner will be Rebecca Espinoza, freshman outfielder for Cypress.
Now pitch ready for number 34, number 20, Rebecca Espinoza.
Coach Pickler gets it set with the home plate umpire. Make sure that the lineup changes are corrected. We're in the top of the 6th inning between Cypress and Palomar. 2-1 our score.
So yesterday, guys, in the same situation, this is the batter you had at the plate that changed the outcome of the game. You're up 2-1. Once again, you're looking for that ball that gets hit up the gap that can change a game outright with 2 runs here in this inning.
Romano takes 1-0, and this is the inning that she did it in yesterday afternoon, where she got that bases clearing triple. Here's the 1-0. Make it 2-0.
Ryan, look how steady her hands are as a hitter. She brings them up high. She doesn't drop her wrist. She's got steady hands at the plate. She's just got textbook style as a hitter for a softball player.
Spins just low to Val Romano, and now she has a 3-0 count. So, Mark, my question to you, does she get the green light in this case?
Oh, I let her swing. Ed, you let her swing?
No, I take.
Oh, I let her swing.
Prove you can throw a strike.
Here's the 3-0, and she takes all the way. So Val Romano goes up to first, Vasquez to second, make it Espinoza to second, and Emma Walker now at third.
What are you buying next week?
I just got a text from Brad.
Yeah?
Take. She's taken.
Brad just said to Ed, okay, what would you like me to do?
And Mark said, bring back the hot plate.
That's it.
I just think in that situation, yeah, a lot of times I'm not, you've got a good solid hitter up there who can knock it out of the park or get an extra base hit. But when the pitcher is struggling and can't throw a strike, you need to give the pitcher an opportunity. Hey, we don't think you can throw a strike. You haven't been able to. You've hit a batter. You missed 3 straight times. Why not let the pitcher throw one more pitch? Can't get the strike zone in there, then you get a free pass, and now the bases are loaded, and the pressure is on.
But you've got a hitter that's coming up that has struck out more than she's walked. So this is somebody, not that she's struck it out an outrageous amount of times, but she has struck out 8 times, only walked 7 times into the season. So, again, I'm probably going to play back at the corner at first base, come in at third, and I'm going to play halfway, Ryan. I'm not going to come in at second and short. I'm going to play halfway at second and short. I know Palomar's not doing this, but I need to give myself that opportunity to turn that double play.
And for Kiani Puailoa, who takes outside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike for Puailoa. She is 0 for 5 so far in this tournament and has only reached base once, and that was on an error in the 3rd inning. Swings and misses. Dead ball, she just gets a piece of it. 0-2.
Now, the one thing you have to do is you have to work the outside. You've already, every time you've come in on somebody, you've nailed them with a pitch. That's got to be weighing in your mind in the circle right now.
Outside corner. And Emma Walker takes a look down at home. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Okay, or Brad yelling, they've got a pitch to you, is what Brad just yelled from the third base coaching box.
Here's the 1-2 with 1 out. Swing and a miss from Puailoa. Melanie Okazaki up next.
Big strikeout. Again, a beautiful performance today from Palomar in the circle. No matter what the outcome of this game is, your starting pitcher has stepped up for you. She's given up 2 hits. She's down by 1. Now she's looking for that 3rd out right here.
Outside corner strike. Here's Melanie Okazaki, flew out in the first, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the third, and reached on a hit by pitch, was stranded at second after she stole a base. Delorier to home on the 0-1. Make it 1-1 now.
Look at Palomar. They're still crowding the corners. Ryan, they haven't walked in that much, but look at how close they are to the line. So they've got incredible gaps between third and short right now.
Lexi Williams on the outfield grass at short. Creeps in as that one goes outside, 2-1.
Hitters count. 2-1, hitters count. You're swinging away here.
Ryan, does she bring it inside?
For Melanie Okazaki, you do. She's a traditional slap hitter, likes to go towards left, and she takes this one towards left field and foul. So the more inside you go, the more it forces her to try to pull something, which is not her strength. Two balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. First game of a triple header here on SportsNetUSA.net. 11, 1, and 3 are the games here on SportsNetUSA.net here at the SoCal Super Regional. This is the 11 o'clock game between Cypress and Palomar. Outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners will go on the pitch. 2-1 Cypress. Popped up behind third. Shortstop calling for it. That is Lexi Williams who makes the catch. And Cypress not able to capitalize on bases loaded with only 1 out. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 runners left on base. Score stays at 2-1. Cypress on top of Palomar. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
That's definitely what you don't want to happen. You get the bases loaded with 1 out, and your next 2 batters, a strikeout and a pop-up.
But again, let's give credit where credit is due, too.
Yes.
I mean, you got somebody in the circle that is just having a heck of a game, and she'd be winning. I'm going to go back to the fact that if she doesn't hit a couple batters earlier in this game is now 1-0 Palomar right now, because she is getting very close to double digits in strikeouts. She's gotten strikeouts when she's needed them, and she's come with it. 3-2 pitch. You've hit batters. You've walked people. She did not give in to the hitter. She said to the hitter, if you're going to hit it, you got to hit my pitch. And that's exactly what you want. And I think if you're Palomar right now, in the back of your mind, if you're managing this team, you got to be looking at the scoreboard and saying, ladies, we've got to do something. We've got Cypress where we want them. Their best pitcher, we're right there with her. We can get into tomorrow's game. And, you know, maybe, hey, really force the defense. Drop a bunt. Make them do something. Move things around. Ryan, you've talked about trying to get the defense to move around. You don't do that by swinging away. Maybe you do like Santiago did yesterday and say, here's 3 consecutive bunts. Make plays on them.
You look at Bailey Romano, Mariah Lopez, and Madison Turman, first 3 for Palomar.
Now batting for Palomar, number 7.
And
Bailey
for
Romano.
Delorier, she has 8 strikeouts, has hit 5 batters, and has given up a total of 9 free passes. Cypress not able to get their offense going, but Palomar has the top of the lineup up, with Bailey Romano starting it off and taking ball 1. 1-0. Infield is Val Romano behind the plate, and Destiny Vasquez in the circle. Hit on the button, but right to Nicole Weiss, who is able to catch the line out to left field for the first. Mariah Lopez is next.
That was smoked so fast, James Flynn couldn't catch up to it.
29. Mo Lopez.
On your screen defensively for Cypress, right to left in the infield, it's Kiani Puailoa as Lopez takes strike 1. Jenny Vasquez is at second. At short is Sydney McCullum and Alexis Zavales at third. Left to right in the outfield is Nicole Wise, Melanie Okazaki, and Emma Walker. Lopez, 1 ball and 1 strike. Is back in the box, left-handed batter, and fouls it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 run on 4 hits and 1 error for Palomar. 2 runs on only 2 hits for Cypress. They just got their second hit in the 6th. This one is going all the way to the wall as Mariah Lopez will get around first and up to second. That ball, Mark, had side spin, and once it hit the outfield grass, it jettisoned right to the left center field fence.
Yeah, and Ed, you saw which way the wind's blowing. She takes the pitch to go with the wind, which is a nice tail. Now, I'll throw it towards you, Ed. You've been around softball so long. Do you play the traditional game and bunt somebody to third base, or what do you do if you were managing this Palomar team?
I'm not a big fan of bunting with a runner on second and 1 out. So I'd let him swing away. You've had some hard hit balls in this inning by both batters so far. I mean, one was a foul, but I let him swing away. I'll let him swing away.
That one is low to start off Madison Turman. For Palomar, Brooke Hanovan is the designated runner for Mariah Lopez. Turman at the plate. Inside strike at the hands. 0-1, or make it 1-1.
And, you know, if you go with Ed Ford's philosophy, you've got the right player at the plate right now, Ed, because this is somebody who doesn't walk, somebody who doesn't strike out. She's going to get the bat on the ball.
Watches this one just underneath the kneecaps. 2-1.
Now Romano turned around and looked at the umpire. I tell you what, that's somebody looking at somebody goes, what do you mean I went through the stop sign? Sort of look. She was not happy with that call.
Turman at the plate. 2-1, 1 out. Runner at second. That's 3-1. And it seems like both catchers, Val Romano and Bailey Romano, from both Palomar and Cypress, are trying to find where the strike zone is to frame.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I think the umpire's got it floating all over the place.
3-1. And right back up the middle. It's going to deflect over towards second. The play is at first, and it gets away from Puailoa. Down to third will be Hanovan, and she's going to score on the ball getting away. It's an error that will be charged to Cypress College that allows a run to cross, and forcing the play at first is Madison Turman.
I think Ryan Osborn, and I agree with the scorekeeper this time. Ed, and I'm going to ask you too. They did mark it down as an error because it was hit hard, and now they're going to check on Destiny to see that she's okay. But I mean, once again, you had somebody at the plate that did what Ed Ford said you needed to do. Ed, she swung away. This girl doesn't strike out or walk. She swings away, and when you've got a runner on second base, if you get that error or whatever, you can tie game up. I think justifiably so. Ed Ford right there. So we'll be watching what he's picking stock-wise because now Ed's on the uphill roll.
Well, I guess lucky. But if you have a batter up that doesn't walk a lot, it's going to get contact. I mean, turn that situation back to the top half of the inning. That's what Cypress needed when they had the bases loaded, and they had, their next 2 batters couldn't produce. I mean, they needed somebody who could get the bat on the ball, and that makes something happen. If you hit the ball hard, a lot of times if the defense is good, it's going to be an out, but there's always that chance that it deflects off the pitcher's hand, it deflects off somebody's foot, it hits a bag. I mean, if you hit the ball hard, you do have a chance of scoring a run. Plus, if you hit it the right way, your runner could score from third on a fielder's choice. So Palomar came through with the hit, and then Cypress may have maybe just hung on to that ball instead of trying to get the runner, because they weren't going to get the runner.
I was just going to ask you that too, Ryan. What has happened to old style play where you were taught, eat the softball, eat the baseball, let them have first base? I mean, it seems like the more you and I watch softball, everybody has to try and make a play after somebody does something wrong.
And you also want to look defensively at the player who would have been catching the ball, Puailoa, at first. We talked about it yesterday. Over at second, you want to see more shortstops who go after the ball instead of staying at second and allowing the ball to go into center field. In that case, you also want to see first base people who end up going after the ball. Ball handcuffs her a little bit, but is shading away from her. Instead of going after the ball, she tries to stay on the bag for the out. So designated runner for Palomar will be coming in, and it is Lexi Williams, who is the flex player and has started at short.
So Destiny is getting banged up out there. Yesterday it was she got hit in the foot, remember? And that was really whacked her in the foot. And then today, that smash off her glove. So we hope she's okay, but.
And Brad Pickner sends Vanessa Letsema down now to warm up in this game.
Up and high to Tiar Pau Pau. 1 ball and no strikes. Palomar with a runner on first in Lexi Williams. They're trying to take the lead as they have just tied it up at 2 apiece. Val Romano taking inside corner and trying to frame it, but it goes 2-0. Santiago Canyon and College of the Canyons will be the matchup in just a couple moments. It's now 2-1 to Pau Pau. Also, loser of this game will face the winner of Santiago Canyon and College of the Canyons, as this one's down the third baseline, foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that game will begin at 3 p.m. Also here on SportsNetUSA.net. Once again, I'm Ryan Osborn alongside Mark Pavlovich and Ed Ford. James Flynn helping run the camera here at Cypress College. Bounce to third. Here's the throw from Zavala. Now to second and on to first, not in time to be able to clip Pau Pau.
Yeah, the fans groaned on that, but that wasn't even close.
So Cypress tries to turn the double play. Instead, they only get 1. And the fielder's choice gives Pau Pau first. Crystal Delorier at the plate and fouls this one straight back. Continues to fly until it hits the dirt behind the plate.
Ed, did you notice how Ryan had this game ending on time? We're tied up at 2, and like you said, just stick around. The next game will be up in a second.
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we couldn't have extra innings or anything.
This one's fouled off to the right and out of play.
I know Corey's Nailing's here, but what do you want to get out of the way? Like Corey, get on the air? Is that what you're doing?
Hey, there you go.
Donuts, hot dogs.
I already talk too much, though.
Cheesecake.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Delorier at the plate, starting pitcher for Palomar. Runner at first. And it's over to McCullum, who picks it up on the short hop and throws over to first to end the inning. But Palomar gets a run on 1 hit and 1 error. They leave a runner on base as well. They tie the game up at 2. Cypress coming up to the plate. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
Of course, normally, Ed, you're sitting here, Cypress is coming up the plate, you figure the game could end, but Cypress is the visitors in this first game of the Super Regionals today. So they need to do something here in the 7th, or Palomar's got the dinner sitting on the plate and be able to eat and go home in this first game. So it's really turned out, and you talked about it again, Ed, really when you look at all the super regionals, justification for all the teams being ranked the way they are, really got conference winner, you brought it up, 16-0, conference winner undefeated in both these first two teams.
Yeah, this game has been just a tough game for both teams. I mean, tough pitching. They're facing tough pitching. And I guess this is what we expected, a battle all the way down to the end. Both teams each has one at bat left, and we'll see what can happen here. Great pitching from the Circle. We've seen some pitchers get into some problems, but they've managed to work their way out. So I guess that's what the Super Regionals are all about.
And Ryan, on the other side, realize Cypress undefeated. So not only is it a loss in the Super Regional, but your streak of winning games comes to an abrupt end at what I would say cosmetically is the wrong time.
Right now they're sitting at 43-0, undefeated in conference, undefeated in regular season play, and they swept through their first regional series against Allen Hancock 2 straight. For Cypress, it'll be McCullum, Vasquez, and Zavala. So the heart of the order is up there. Ball 1 to Sidney McCullum.
Well, they need a little bit of that 1,300 victory magic that they pulled off with El Camino and won in the bottom of the 7th on I think it took 8.
Yeah, it was extra.
It went 8 innings, but they tied it up in the bottom of the 7th.
Now you look at Palomar. They recently had a game against Pasadena City College, which went 10 innings, and that was a final of 4-3. And Romano able to catch that one. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And I think with that game, people don't realize Pasadena City College had a very good season this year. I mean, you're in there with Mount Sac, so that's a tough conference.
McCullum fouls it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Santiago Canyon to our right and College of the Canyons to our left. Getting set for their game once this one finishes up between Palomar and Cypress. The 2-2. Swing and a miss from McCullum. Palomar crowd likes that to our left, and Jenny Vasquez will have her chance. And for Vasquez, reached on a fielder's choice in the first, struck out in the 3rd and 5th. A total of 9 strikeouts for Delorier. Bounces in, 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, Delorier has done what she's needed to do. She's gotten in some jams, but she has pitched all of them. Just plain pitched all of them.
Outfield straightaway except for Pow Pow, who is very deep in right field, even with a right-handed hitter out there.
Yeah, I'm still surprised where she's playing in right field. And Delorier looks like she is stronger in the Circle now than she was when the game started. She's got a little more mustard on the ball.
2 balls and no strikes. That one's high and in there. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. 2-2 is our score. 2 runs on 5 hits for Palomar. Swung and fouled back behind the screen. 2-2. And Vasquez knows that she missed on that one and was kicking herself. It's now 3-2. Romano behind the plate has had to work a little bit with Delorier. as Palomar defensively have Delorier in the circle, Bailey Romano behind the plate, and Mariah Lopez at first. Bree Dunkel is at second with Dion Macias at third and Lexi Williams at short. Fouled straight back and towards the baseball field. Taylor Fa'asua is in left field, Taylor Willis in center, and T.R. Pow Pow is in right. That's the outfield for Palomar.
And once again, Ryan, you've talked about her giving up so many free rides, be it either walking somebody or hitting somebody with a pitch. This is one stage of the game. You're tied up. You just got back in this game. If somebody's going to beat you, you've got to make them hit the softball. I don't care if you lay it out there so they rip it all the way to the center field wall. You cannot give a free ride here.
There it is, as she goes to first after working the walk.
But you know, Mark, when Delorier has gotten into trouble and gotten out, and nothing against her defense, they've played well, but she has made the right pitches to get out of trouble. It's not like somebody made some spectacular snag of a ball that was going to go down the line and be a double. She has pitched and put the pitches in the right places and made Cypress strike out or pop up.
That is ball one to Alexis Zavala, left-handed batter. Up there for the fourth time this afternoon and is 0 for 2. Got hit by a pitch in the third. Delorier to home, showing bunt is Zavala, and she watches it for 2-0.
And this is where you say to somebody in the circle, hey, they're going to give themselves up. Take the out. My problem with, and I've talked about it yesterday and today, I think the best hitter right now on this Cypress team is on deck.
Zavala takes a look once again, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
And it's been proof in the pudding yesterday and today. So you really want to take this first out if they're willing to give it to you.
Then at third, Macias charging home. Goes low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Zavala.
But on the other hand, if you can get 2 strikes on the batter, you put so much pressure on them to lay a bunt down that maybe they just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Delorier to home. That one's into left field, shading towards foul territory. Not able to make the catch is Fa'asua.
And when Fa'asua first read that ball coming off the bat, I don't think the wind had grabbed it because she went back, Ryan. She didn't go towards foul territory to the very end, and then the ball drops about 2 feet away from her. Where you'd have thought, hey, the wind is blowing from your left to your right. You've got to fade in that direction.
Nicole Wise on deck. Has a single and a strikeout. Also reached on a walk. Zavala stays alive, foul tipping that one back.
Yeah, you have to keep it out of the wind on one like that. You have to hit one of those low slices. Then you might find the chalk and you have an extra base hit and drive in a run.
Zavala awaiting the 3-2 from Delorier. Popped up into foul territory, and Macias gives it a look, but it goes foul.
And of course, Ryan Osborn says Nicole Wise on deck's got that 1 hit. Wait a minute, she's got 2 ribbies in this game. She was the big hitter yesterday for this Cypress team. So far it's been the Nicole Wise show the last 2 days offensively for this Cypress Charger team.
Delorier into the wind with 1 out. Swing and a miss by Zavala. They're going to throw down to second. The ball just gets away. And they had the runner at second, but the ball is dropped over there by Bree Dunkel.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Ryan. I thought they had a strike me out, throw me out on the play. It was a really nice throw, a little into the runner, but it should have been caught, and the tag should have been laid.
Ball goes directly into the middle of the glove and pops right back out. So Cypress now has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. 2-2, Cypress and Palomar. Over at third, Dion Macias giving a big hole in between third and short as Nicole Wise takes a strike, 0-1.
You watch how relaxed she is at the plate. This is somebody who's in the zone right now as a hitter. The hands don't move. The body doesn't move. She takes her time at the plate, just eyes the ball coming into the strike zone.
Outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the 7th inning with Cypress and Palomar both battling it out in the first of 3 here on SportsNetUSA.net. Loser of this game plays around 3 p.m. And Delorier brings 2 and 1. Santiago Canyon and College of the Canyons scheduled to start at 11. Maybe a little bit later if this game continues.
Well, Ryan, when you look at the outfield setup right now for Palomar, if this is hit to right field, the runner scores easily. Maybe in left, not.
That one's fouled straight back.
Did you see 3 guys throw that card in reverse as quick as they could? Ed, Ryan, and I all sort of said, okay, let's back up a little. That's coming right at us.
2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Delorier to home, fouled back. Here at Cypress for the SoCal Super Regional, off to our left shoulder is the baseball field for Cypress. And over our right shoulder is street and a parking lot. Like you said, Mark, shallow field here at Cypress. So the foul balls go right into the parking lot and just narrowly miss some moving cars.
So I'm just wondering, what happened to Title IX? Did he get like a free hot dog and then turn around and leave? Is that what it is?
Title IX was the person that would have been hit by that foul ball right behind us. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 2 at the plate in Nicole Wise for Cypress. Popped straight up and into foul territory. James Flynn trying to make the diving catch.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, what's quality at bat? Because you had it explained to you.
Quality at bat is when the batter goes down in the count and is able to work the pitcher for more pitches. Force that pitch count back up. It doesn't matter if they're able to end up with the hit, which would be nice, but as long as they're able to work the pitcher, this one goes back and Pow Pow is able to make the catch. The flyout ends the inning and Cypress is not able to tack on a run. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left in scoring position for Cypress. 2-2. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning with Palomar coming up to the plate. This is the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
So if you're a Savannah alumni and a friend of Brad Pickler's, hold on to your hats and glasses, because I tell you what, no team has an opportunity to do what maybe Palomar does, as Destiny Vasquez comes back into the circle here in the bottom of the 7th inning on SportsNetUSA.net. We'll see what happens. Of course, Ed, you and I have been checking to see if any of these other regionals are going on, and I haven't been able to find anybody that started, so I think it's still just us here in the Super Regional Saturday so far on SportsNetUSA.net.
I think the other games have started. There's just no reports of anything. Okay. The Mount Sac El Camino game has live stat links on the CCCAA website. That's CCCAAsports.org, but no updates. And a lot of the teams from the north, there aren't live stats, so you just have to kind of wait until the game's over to find out what's happening.
Melanie Okazaki in center field, as you see there. 1 ball and no strikes. See the state championship banners for Cypress in center, 91, 97, 98, and 99. Followed by the 220 marker Into shallow center field, McCollum going back and making the catch for 1 out. So Fa'asua goes down, and Taylor Willis is up.
Now batting number 4, Taylor Willis.
Willis in the second inning flew out to center field. That was the second out of the second inning, and in the fifth, she recorded the second out of the fifth inning by flying out to center field. That one is strike 1. Santiago Canyon showing up. This time they're in their road blues. Up and high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Santiago yesterday afternoon, they were in their alternate uniforms in all black, outlined in navy blue. Just inside.
I'm sure Destiny was wondering, where was that one exactly?
Well, Val Romano just pointed to Brad Pickler. It was low, is what the umpire called. So, because Brad even yelled out. And Val just turned around and said to the dugout, that one was low.
Almost the same location, and that one is called for a strike.
Yeah, sort of amazing.
So with the wind picking up here, it's blowing around the strike zone, and we have a 2-2 count. Inside corner, strike 3 call. First time that a batter has gone down looking this afternoon. That is 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting number 25, Dion Macias.
Here is Macias starting at third for Palomar. Zavala creeping down from third. There's a strike. It's Romano behind the plate, Vasquez in the circle, Puailoa at first, outside, 1-1. Jenny Vasquez at second, Zavala is at third, and McCullum is at short. That's the infield for Cypress. In left field, it's Nicole Wise and Okazaki in center. Inside on the ankles, 2-1, and Emma Walker is in right. Down low, 3-1. Wind now going from scoreboard in right center to left center. High chop down to McCullum to Puailoa for the out. 6-3 records the third out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Extras here on SportsNetUSA.net at the SoCal Super Regional.
Mark, you talked about Delore being pumped up for her inning in the top of the 7th. I think you saw the same thing with Vasquez out there. Seemed like she was throwing with a little more velocity, and even the pitches she missed, they were borderline. She was just missing those. So both pitchers deliver for their teams in the top and the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, and I think a lot's got to go back to what you've talked about. These starters hate to come out. We've seen 2 people warm up in the bullpen. I think Brad was looking at her and saying, look, if you can't get it done, I got 2 that are ready to go. And you've talked about it, Ed. They give Brad Pickler a look when he says, I'm coming to the circle to get you. She pitched with an abandonment out in the circle right there for this Charger team.
Emma Walker, Destiny Vasquez, Val Romano. Those are the 3 for Cypress as we enter the top of the 8th inning. Games were supposed to start at 11-1 and 3 here on SportsNetUSA.net, but we have extras. Some free softball, if you will.
There we go. Always free softball on SportsNetUSA.net.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's the first strike. It's 0-1. The score is 2-2 between Cypress and Palomar.
Cal State University Fullerton. Sorry. Oh, okay. My fault.
Popped up. Shallow right. And back on it was Bree Dunkel. She's able to make the catch. 1 out. Destiny Vasquez next.
And what you liked what Dunkel did on that edge, she immediately called it hers. There's no confusion out there. I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. 2 hands with the catch for that first out.
Bounces in front of Romano and gets away. 1 ball and no strikes.
I think Destiny Vasquez has that look where it's sort of like, please don't hit me with the softball. I've been beat up enough today.
1-0 with Vasquez at the plate. Corners are in Lopez and Macias. Now Macias goes behind third. And this one hits her.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm with you.
Val Romano will
Yeah.
bat for Cypress.
Just amazing. I mean, she really did on the first pitch. She's got that look. And again, Val Romano, besides Nicole Wise, there's 1 out. There was a fly ball taken at second base. So there's 1 out in this inning.
Delorier to home. First pitch of the at-bat for Val Romano is an 0-1 as it's called to strike. Two to 2, Palomar and Cypress. And foul back.
Yeah, my camera's getting beat up too.
I was going to say, I'm looking at all the different connections and going, wait a minute, which one goes where now?
Well, you got 1.5 working.
Popped up to second. It is Dunkel who makes the call, makes the catch. Val Romano goes down. That's the second out.
So in other words, what you're trying to tell me is we've got a center field camera and a camera behind home plate with 1.5 cameras working.
Center field camera gives us a nice look at the cars that are almost getting hit by the foul balls.
Yeah, it does.
0-1.
Well, we got a technician behind us. Title IX.
And Ryan, we've seen where the pitchers have kept their teams in the game and the batters need to come through, and that's just not happening.
Kiani Puailoa at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. She has yet to get a hit in this series. And Puailoa on the year has an average of .457 coming into this tournament, and so far has gone 0 for 8. Reached on an error. Shows bunt. Does she go around? She does not.
Wow, looked like an offer. If we had that on a replay yet, I'd love to see that. Wow.
Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And it's hit into left field. Here's Fa'asua into foul territory, able to make the catch. That's the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 8th inning, folks, here on SportsNetUSA.net at the SoCal Super Regional.
Don't forget, all our games, even these extra innings, are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. That's right, I drive a Toyota. I love my Toyota looking pretty. I like it sounding perfect when I'm going down the street. Maybe I just need to get that little touch-up paint on the side of my car to do it. Maybe they just need to detail it for me and tell me what I might need for my Toyota to look perfect. Where else would I go? Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Located at Euclid in the 91. I'd drive on down there and say, guys, there it is. Take it in, spruce it up for me, give me what I want, and turn around and walk out and be happier than Ryan Osborn was on his birthday yesterday when he got those free donuts from me here at sportsnetusa.net. So don't forget, all our games, be it high school, community college, you name it, the games here on sportsnetusa.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Miller Toyota of Anaheim is a proud sponsor of high school sports, community college sports, but most of all, education. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim, located at Euclid in the 91.
Bree Dunkel, Bailey Romano, Mariah Lopez, top of the lineup for the Comets. And Mark, the way that both of these pitchers are going, we could be in for a lot longer game.
Well, I'm going to ask both you guys, aren't you a little surprised nobody's trying to drop down a bunt? Just everybody seems to be swinging freely. I mean, I don't know where you don't try to get that traditional, put a little emphasis on the defense out here. We saw it with San Diego Canyon yesterday when they were down by 1. I don't know why either of these teams aren't. I know Ed likes the fact that everybody swings away. He's not a bunt guy like I am. A little surprised that nobody's trying to drop a bunt right now to get on base.
Now batting for Palomar, number 3.
Oh, I don't have a problem with bunting. It's just what situation it's in. And I think Laurier has just been pitching so tough that Cypress really can't lay down a bunt. She's just putting the ball in the right position.
Right down the wind tunnel into center field by Bree Dunkel. 1 pitch, 1 out. She flies out to center for the first out. Mark, on that last fly out, you saw the ball go towards right center field, and as the wind catches it, it slowly curves out towards straightaway center and is caught by Okazaki. If it continues straight and true, that may have been an extra base hit.
Yeah, but did you notice where she positioned herself? Home field advantage. I know where to stand when the wind is blowing here at Cypress College.
One ball, no strikes. This one's popped into foul territory. Zavala isn't able to make the over-the-shoulder catch.
You know, Mark, it's a lot like in golf where people are used to playing a certain place where even the PGA or the LPGA Tour where there's not a lot of wind, and then they go and play in Scotland. Or you look back at the LPGA where they were at the Texas shootout, and suddenly we got those Texas winds and the scores went through the roof.
Yeah.
So the wind can be tricky, but if you know it, as you said, she knew how to play that ball because this is her home turf.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. As Romano watched that one. Destiny Vasquez starting to turn it on in the last 2 innings. One of the strike there was calling for it.
Yeah, I think she's feeling it right about now. She's been beat up too much. She wants this victory.
Right behind Vasquez, here's McCullum. Not able to throw it over to first in time. Even College of the Canyon's getting in on this.
And as you watch the replay, Vasquez doesn't make a play. McCullum just makes an excellent play, picks it and throws over to first. Tough play for anybody in the circle to make. Tougher play at shortstop to make that play.
And as a shortstop, when you're ranging over towards second base, making that play, it handcuffs her as she's going across. So you have to bring the ball all the way up from your knees, back up to around your chest where you can start to throw the ball. As opposed to an easier hop, it's out towards your waist. You're able to bring it and throw it over to first. That's ball 1.
You'd like to be able to barehand that one if it hops right on you.
Strike 2 to Mariah Lopez. She has 2 hits in this game, and both times she has been on base, she's scored. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out. That's strike 2. 1 and 2. Runner on first is Bailey Romano. And Kiani Puailoa playing behind the runner at first. Zavala even with the bag at third as it's delivered for an even count at 2-2.
And you like Palomar, they've taken the Ed Ford school of batting here in the last few innings. They've been very patient at the plate against Destiny Vasquez.
Lopez reaching for it, fouls it away. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. 2-2, Cypress and Palomar. You're in the first game of 3 on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn, Mark Pavlovich, Ed Ford, and James Flynn. Here's Lopez turning on it. Puailoa only has 1 chance. She tries to go it over to first. They're saying that she was able to tag first as she tripped in trying to tag the base. Down goes Mariah Lopez. The Palomar fans don't like it.
Yeah, but you know what? Even though it's a close play, Ed, you get what you need to accomplish. You now have that runner in scoring position. And we'll see if we get... looked like there was going to be a change out there, but Ryan, I don't see any changes going on. Do you?
No changes so far as Coach Brad Pickler walks over to the circle.
And again,
that may be it.
We'll see. Again, the thing that you like here is that when we talked about Nicole Wise coming to the plate for Cypress, Ed, once again, who's coming to the plate? The young woman who doesn't walk, doesn't strike out, hit the ball back up the box. The ball ricochets, an error is called, and that's why we're tied at 2. If you're Palomar and you had to paint the picture here in the bottom of the 8th, the right hitter with a runner in scoring position, and I'm sure that's what Brad's talking about his team right now. Hey, knock it down. If you can't make a play, don't throw it away. I'm sure the guys, his alumni buddies from Savannah High School, are just saying, come on, Brad. One more play. Look at, he's going to tell his outfielders. He's talking to everybody. Knock it down, make the play. If you're the infield, I'd be very surprised if somebody boots it or if it's going to be a tough play, Ryan Osborn. I'd be surprised if you see an infielder try to make an outrageous play if that's what they've got to do to stop this inning.
And if you looked at Vasquez before Coach Pickler made it all the way out to the circle, she thought that Brad Pickler was going to give her the hook as she was getting ready to give up the ball. Brad Pickler tells her, no, you can keep it, and has the conversation with the infield. First strike is delivered to Turman. Oh,
I'm glad you caught that because that's what it looked like to me, too.
Yeah, I agree with both of you.
No balls, 1 strike. Designated player Madison Turman able to draw a fielder's choice or reached on an error.
She got an error, yeah, and the run scored.
Doesn't count as an RBI because it was unearned.
Yep.
As the ball got away.
But she did what Ed said you needed to do. Hit the softball.
Has to scoot away from that one. 2 balls and 1 strike.
This run scores, the game is over, and the winning streak comes to a quick end.
Val Romano has a quick talk with Destiny Vasquez over at third. It is Alexis Zavala who's even with the bag. Sydney McCullum at short is on the outfield grass. And Jenny Vasquez mirrors her position over at second. Runner at second is Bailey Romano. Just under the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike.
You can give up first base here because her run doesn't count. You score the one in front of her, game's over.
2-2, Cypress and Palomar. Vasquez to Turman. That one climbs along the fence.
That was the pitch. Wow. Wow. Right down Broadway. Here it is. My name's Vasquez. If you can hit it, be my guest.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second is Romano. Bottom of the 8th inning. Palomar with the chance to score, and it bounces low. Walk is delivered, and now Tiar Pow comes up to the plate. Runners on first and second.
Now batting number 33, Terry Papau.
Pow with her 12 home runs and 40 RBIs. There's a strike. Inside corner, 0-1.
Pow was hitting 370 coming into this game, so she can turn on a ball quickly.
The 0-1. Fouls it straight back. This is now no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th. Runners on first and second in Turman and Romano.
Watch this pitch, low and in.
Vasquez, the 0-2, low, in, too low.
Wow. That's been her out pitch so far in this game. I come back to back if I'm her. We'll see what they call over in the dugout for Cypress, but I think I come back to back. Val Romano looking over there trying to get the call. That pitch has worked, and Ryan, she has gotten that pitch from the umpire. Ed, the umpire has given her that pitch all day long. Why go away from your money pitch? It's like Monopoly. Buy Boardwalk when you can. Low and in.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And this is Pow hitting it down the line. And Zavala makes a brilliant play at third, but she makes it in foul territory.
Well, I'd like to see that one again if we had that on replay. I really would. This is going to be close if we could get, we didn't get it. Oh, that was close. I'm with the fans. That's a close play.
Destiny Vasquez, the 1-2 to Pow. Swing and a miss. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Score stays tied at 2 apiece between Cypress and Palomar at the SoCal Super Regional on SportsNetUSA.net.
If you're a Santiago fan, that's right. We'll be coming to you in a while. We just need to get this one cleared up and decide who's going to win, who's going to be here Sunday, who's going to play later in the afternoon, and then we'll have a couple more games here on SportsNetUSA.net. The loser today, well, Ed, it doesn't look like they're going to get much rest. They decided to go extra innings. The loser's going to have to play a second game later on this afternoon. So, I know they're youngsters, but it could take a lot out of them. We'll see what happens.
And we don't really know what's going to, this is just the first game, Mark. There always is that chance of the second game, guys. Well, if the second game goes extra stanzas, could be out here a long time.
So Santiago Canyon and College of the Canyons will be our next game here on SportsNetUSA.net. Corey Nalen is able to retrieve the lineup for us.
It's a beautiful day here at Santiago Field.
Melanie Okazaki at the plate for Cypress. 1 ball and no strikes. Next one goes low, bounces in. 2 balls and no strikes. (2-2) Cypress Palomar. Winner plays tomorrow. Loser ends up playing at 3 p.m. It's now 2-1 after Okazaki takes a strike. Delorier in the circle, Romano behind the plate, Mariah Lopez is at first, and Bree Dunkel is at second. There's strike 2. At third is Dion Macias, Lexi Williams at short, and Taylor Fa'asua is in left. Taylor Willis is in center, and Tiar Pau Pau playing deep in right field. Next one is for Okazaki, just gets past a diving Lexi Williams, and she will be safe at first. Sydney McCullum up next as Okazaki gets the leadoff single.
Now batting number 12, Sydney McCullum.
Now, Mark, Ed, you have one of the better runners on your entire lineup, the leadoff hitter in Melanie Okazaki, who is at first, has 31 stolen bases so far this year. Sydney McCullum shows bunt and brings it back.
And one thing you'll see McCullum do, if she's actually going to drop that bunt, she will give herself up. I think she just flashes it. We'll see if they start the runner and see if she can hit behind the runner.
Jenny Vasquez to our right. Next in the lineup, and it's now 2-0 to Sydney McCullum. Wind continues to blow here at Cypress College. Delorier to home. Bringing it back is McCullum, and she now has a 3-0 count.
And again, where we've talked about giving something away, you just can't afford to do this. I mean, if she's going to get that hit, let her beat you with a hit. Don't give a walk. Don't hit a batter. Too many free rides in this game.
Strike 1 call to Sydney McCullum. 3-1. Down at third, Dion Macias. Coming in towards the ball. Ball 4. Right down the middle of the plate, and it is not called. So ball 4 it is. And McCullum is up to first.
And you can hear the fans behind us too, Ryan, asking where that pitch was at.
Two runs on 6 hits, 1 error for Palomar. 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error for Cypress.
Okay, now here do you drop the bunt down, get your sacrifice?
Strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Well, I would. I mean, I'm going to go and play traditional softball, and I'm going to drop a bunt down to get runners on second and third. Then if they want to load them up, let them.
Showing bunt is Jenny Vasquez. She'll bring it back for 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the 9th inning between Cypress and Palomar. Runners on first and second for Cypress with no outs. 1-1 count to Jenny Vasquez. And Alexis Zavala would be up next. Here's the bunt right back to the circle. Delorier only has 1 chance, and it's over to first. So the sacrifice is there. It's laid down. And the only opportunity that Palomar had to get an out was at first. Jenny Vasquez is out, and Alexis Zavala is up. Okazaki down to third, and up to second, Sydney McCullum.
Watch this squeeze play.
Alexis Zavala will be given the intentional walk. 1 ball and no strikes.
You know, we can hear the fans behind. Can you hear the fans behind me about Major League Baseball where you automatically get the walk? I don't like that. I mean, a pitcher can balk in this position. A pitcher can throw it away in this position. And I don't think it speeds the game up that much.
Those fans behind you, Mark, not just any fans.
Well, they're never going to really address what slows Major League Baseball down anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What are they, coaches or something? What do they know?
Now batting number 2,
And one of those coaches, formerly of Butte College.
What, did I meet him at one time?
If you're asking who it is Coach Wismath of College of the Canyons. Had 250 wins over at Butte College before coming down to College of the Canyons.
You know, Butte College, we had a great time up there. We played for the state and then again possibly the national championship when Fullerton went up there. And I can't say enough nice things about the people at Butte College. Ed Ford contacted the IT people. The IT people went out of their way for us from sportsnetusa.net at Butte College. They made sure we had more connections than we knew what to do with. And when we got up there, myself, Philip Pavlovich, Corey Nalen, we got up there, it was sort of like heaven till they said, no, you can't go in the press box. And it was like this, guys, except we had fans sitting right next to us going, hey, can I look at your score sheet? Hey, she actually wasn't hit by a pitch. You know that, don't you? You know, it would be one of those games. They'd be talking to Ed right now.
Bases are now loaded after the walk to Zavala. Up next is Nicole Wise, the batter that Mark has picked as one of the better at-bats in this entire tournament, and she takes strike one.
She has been the clutch hitter for Cypress College in this tournament.
Has 2 RBIs earlier in this one, and since then has struck out and flied out to right. Fouls this one back and off to the right and into the snack shack. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out.
2 for 3 in yesterday's game for Cypress College. Scored a run in yesterday's victory.
Delorier with the infield creeping in. Now it's too high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So you see there, Mark, Delorier trying to get Nicole Wise to chase on the rise pitch.
Yeah, she did that earlier to her last at bat. She did exactly that. Threw a rise pitch with a lot of giddy up on it, and Wise swung right through it.
The 1-2. Over to first, making the play. It will be Mariah Lopez, and she's only able to record 1 out. Decides not to throw to second, hesitates on the throw home, and ends up keeping it, only recording the 1 out. Now Cypress has a 3-2 lead.
Well, the ball gets hit back to her, and again, her natural reaction was to step on first base, but then she realized it's a tag play at home, and that's why she doesn't throw the ball. A lot of people in the stands are going to say she should have gone home immediately. But Ryan, once again, it's your first reaction. And this is where defensively players have to say, if the ball comes to me, what do I do? A fundamental that's lost in all aspects of the game with a bat and a ball.
Strike on the inside corner. 1-1.
Well, if you remember the top of the inning, the last inning, Brad Pickler came out there and went through, in this situation, what are you going to do defensively? So he made sure that the players knew exactly if the ball's hit to you, this is where you're going to throw it. This is where the play is going to be made.
And I had it when I played baseball. I had my dad was somebody who coached me. I mean, my dad, when he was a coach, used to always say to you, what are you going to do when there's that situation that you have to make a play? What are you going to do if the ball comes to you? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go with it? And that's one of the things that, you need to really come up with it. And you talked about it. Brad really did make an emphasis. Hey, if this is what happens, you need to be doing X, Y, or Z.
1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs. After the meeting in the circle for Palomar, runners on second and third, 3-2.
And who gets the RBI on that play?
The RBI on that play, there is no RBI.
Yes, there is. Nicole Wise gets an RBI.
Oh, the fielder's choice.
It's a fielder's choice. She gets an RBI on that play.
So she has 3 RBIs so far in this afternoon.
Right.
Well, let's get Corey Nalen over here, and he'll argue against you.
No, that's an
RBI.
That's an RBI.
fouled back.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying if you brought Corey Nalen over here, he'd be disagreeing with you.
It's no different.
He always does that.
I know, but it's no different than a fly ball to the outfield. So anybody scoring at home says, how do you do that? If you fly to left field, she gets an RBI. So run scores on at your at bat. It's an RBI.
2-2 to Emma Walker. Swing and miss. That will end the inning, but Cypress strikes. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, and 2 left on base. They have the lead at 3-2. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and Palomar needs a run to be able to at least stay in it. This is SportsNetUSA.net at the SoCal Super Regional.
2 more after this, that's right. We're going to be tracking on. Title IX's around here someplace. I'm not sure where he went. He'll be coming back in a while. Be coming on the air with us. We'll have a foursome going here. It'll be like a game of golf in a second when Corey comes out here. It'll be you, myself, Corey Nalen, Ed Ford, all chiming in here on SportsNetUSA.net. So, it'll be like you playing a foursome with us. I know you never played before. Corey's never going to hit anything off the ground, and if he does, it's going to slice. And with this wind, it's going OB. So whatever Corey says, we just sort of disregard on SportsNetUSA.net.
Is that because he would have said that it wasn't an RBI?
You know what? We're lucky, isn't it, this game? When you called a couple errors, he probably would have said no till the official scorekeeper agreed with you. He thinks you and I are harsh as scorekeepers.
I'm just saying, if you can get your glove on it.
I'm with you. If your glove gets on it and you don't make the play, it better be a rocket shot back at you and rip your glove off your hand. That's all I can say. We saw one of those last night.
We have one other score of games going on right now. Still nothing on El Camino Mount Sac, but up north in the 2nd inning, San Joaquin Delta, the number 2 seed in Northern California, they have a 3-0 lead over Cosumnes River. So San Joaquin Delta 3, Cosumnes River nothing. No score on any of the other games.
Crystal Delory.
3-2, Cypress leads Palomar in this SoCal Super Regional here on SportsNetUSA.net. This is game 1 of 3 here on SportsNetUSA.net this afternoon. First pitch is fouled straight back, and it ends up hitting us here at the broadcast location.
How come you didn't catch that?
I made an error.
Error, Ryan Osborn.
You could have called him off.
No. I realize who's supposed to have the better hands. The youngster.
I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way on that.
When you're a Dodger fan, you're supposed to know what to do.
This one's hit deep towards left field, and the catch is made by Nicole Wise.
Do you see our producer, Ed Ford? Do you notice how he touches the video screen, checks his equipment? You and I could be bleeding right now, and it wouldn't matter.
No, because I know it didn't hit you, but it hit our monitor. So, hey.
Yeah, I did.
What's a monitor? It's gone too now. The casualties of war.
I tell you.
I would have voted for experience.
One out as this one's fouled off to the left.
I never saw it clear the screen. I looked up and went, where'd it go?
It was the wind. It had some backspin on it as well. No balls and 1 strike to Taylor Fa'asua. Three to 2, Cypress with the lead. And this one's hit towards the left field. It's going to carry foul as well. Nicole Wise giving chase. It's now 0-2.
Hey, Ed, isn't the person who requested the monitor responsible for the equipment? It's sort of like saying, can I borrow a pair of headsets if I'm Scott Beck or Chuck Lasik? I want the monitor. If that, if it wasn't there, it would have just hit the table. I'm not trying to say that,
Rise pitch makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 with 1 out. 3-2, Cypress with the 1-run lead. Val Romano tries to frame it, but can't. It's 2-2.
You're just lucky it came down where it came down. If it came down over here, you and I'd be running right now. Well, we'd be walking fast. I'm sorry.
That one's over to Sydney McCullum, who's able to eat it up and throw to first. McCullum with the defensive stop. And Taylor Willis will be up next as the final out for Palomar to work with.
State Player of the Year. Ryan Osborn, Corey Nalen, both believe that. That's what a State Player of the Year does. Makes a play like that.
Pinch hitter for Palomar. So instead of Taylor Willis, it's going to be Sarah Rodriguez, utility player for Palomar, the sophomore. That's down low. One ball and no strikes to Sarah Rodriguez with 2 outs. Inside corner strike, 1-1. Destiny Vasquez trying to finish out the game. She has 9 complete games on the year and is looking to get into double digits. She's only given up 2 runs this afternoon. Rodriguez hits this one towards left field. Nicole Wise has to go back to it. It's going to hit the wall. She's going to throw over to second. Sydney McCullum will not be able to deliver it to second, and Sarah Rodriguez with the pinch hit double gets a runner in scoring position for Palomar. The Comets saying we're not done just yet.
Well, I tell you, when she turned to first base and started chugging towards second, I thought there was going to be a play there. When they knew they couldn't get an out, and here comes Brad Pickler and Ed. The question is now, do you switch things out? Do you go with her or what? Yeah, we see a runner change there, Ryan, so we'll let you get that in.
So Sarah Rodriguez takes advantage of that pitch. The 1-1, she sends it into the left field corner. Nicole Wise giving chase, ends up getting to it on the 1 hop off the wall, throws it back into the infield. McCullum no play at second, and Rodriguez with the double. Taylor Willis will re-enter for Rodriguez over at second.
You have to give Rodriguez a lot of credit, Ryan. In a game like this, they're down to their last out. She comes in. She's never faced Vasquez before. She's just coming into the game, and all the pressure of it's all on your shoulders to keep the thing going, and she delivers with a very strong hit to left field. And I like how Weiss played that barehanded carom and didn't glove it. She just barehanded and got it back as fast as she could.
Now batting number 25.
Now is Dion Macias. And Macias has the tying run on second with 2 outs.
Outfield is in. Look at the shallowness they're playing for Cypress.
That goes low. Taylor Willis with some speed on the base pass for Palomar, as she is started in center field for the Comets. And Willis has 6 stolen bases on the year, has not been caught. 1 ball and 1 strike after that call. This one's right back up the middle. Here's Sydney McCullum with the throw to first. Huailoa is able to put it away. That will end the game. 3-2 is our final score. Cypress College takes the victory, come from behind. They take the lead. You see the replay here. McCullum ranging to her left, picks it up, throws over to first, and it is in time to end the game. 3-2 mark, and Cypress will move on tomorrow.
Well, I tell you what, if you're Palomar, you got to feel a little bad. Ed, Palomar played an exceptional game. I thought they were going to win this thing. If you're in the circle for Palomar, your heart's got to be broken. You gave up 3 hits and you lose this game.
Palomar goes back into a situation as they were last year, Mark. They have to stay around and wait for that 3rd game and play to keep their hopes alive. But a well-pitched game by both pitchers. They kept their teams in there, and eventually somebody had to win. And I'm not really sure my scoreboard goes past 9 innings anyway. It might only be single digits, so it's good things did finish up.
Well, one thing I am sure of, your monitor now only shows half a picture.
That is absolutely true.
See? Right again.
So once again, final score 3-2. It is Cypress who takes the victory. They'll move on tomorrow. And Palomar will play at 3 p.m. against the winner of this game, Santiago Canyon and College of the Canyons. Stay tuned with us here on SportsNetUSA.net in just a couple minutes. Santiago Canyon and College of the Canyons. 3-2, Cypress wins here on SportsNetUSA.net.